Om Gam Ganapati Namaha. Om Shakti. Shri Lalitha Sahasranamam 851 to 900 with meaning. Practice. Om Janma Mrityu Jara Tapta Jana Vishranti Dayinyai Namaha. Salutations to her who gives peace and repose to those afflicted with birth, old age, and death. Om Sarvo Pinashad Udgustayai Namaha. Salutations to her whom all the Upanishads proclaim. Om Santyatita Om Santyatita Om Santyatita Kalatmikaye Namaha. Om Santyatita Kalatmikaye Namaha. Salutations to her who transcends even the state of peace. Santyatita Kalatmikaye Namaha. Om Gambiraye Namaha. Salutations to her who is inscrutable. Om Gaganantastaye Namaha. Salutations to her who pervades all space. Om Garvitaye Namaha. Salutations to her who is the pride of Shiva, I as Prakasha, which is the source of the creative process. Om Gana Lolupaye Namaha. Salutations to her who is fond of music. Om Kalpana Rahitaye Namaha. Salutations to her who is untouched by the creative process which proceeds from her will. Om Kastaye Namaha. Salutations to her who is a supreme goal. Om Akantaye Namaha. Salutations to her who effaces all skin. Om Kantarda Vigrahaye Namaha. Salutations to her who is half the person of her consort, Paramashiva. Om Karya Karana Nirmuktaye Namaha. Salutations to her who is not the subject to the laws of cause and effect. Om Kama Keli Tarangitaye Namaha. Salutations to her who overflows with joy in the company of her Lord Kameshwara. Om Kanat Kanaka Tatankaye Namaha. Salutations to her who wears ear ornaments of burnished gold. Om Leela Vigraha Dharinyai Namaha. Salutations to her who takes various forms for her cosmic play. Om Ajayai Namaha. Salutations to her for whom there is no birth. Om Kshaya Vinir Muktaye Namaha. Salutations to her for whom there is no decay also. Om Mugdai Namaha. Salutations to her who is attractive by her artless beauty and innocence. Om Kshipra Prasadinye Namaha. Salutations to her who is easily pleased. Om Antarmukha Samaradhyaye Namaha. Salutations to her whose worship is easy for those whose mental gaze is turned inward. Om Bahir Mukha Sadur Labaye Namaha. Salutations to her whose worship is difficult for those whose mental gaze goes outwards. Om Shakti. Om Trayai Namaha. Salutations to her who is the threefold Veda. Om Trivarga Nilayai Namaha. Salutations to her who is implicit in the threefold aim of life, Dharma, Artha, and Kama. Om Tristhaye Namaha. Salutations to her who is present in the three periods of existence, like past, present, and future. Om Tripura Malinye Namaha. Salutations to her who is the deity of the threefold circles in the Sri Chakra. Om Niramayaye Namaha. Salutations to her who is free from the ills of life. Om Niralambaye Namaha. Salutations to her who depends on none. Om Swatam Aramaye Namaha. Salutations to her who is merged in the joy of her own self. Om Shuddha Shrityai Namaha. Salutations to her who is the source of Suddha, spiritual nectar. Om Samsara Panka Nirmagna Samuddarana Panditaye Namaha. Salutations to her who is skilled in rescuing men who are sunk in the mire of samsara. Om Yagna Priyaye Namaha. Salutations to her who delights in the acts of sacrifice. Om Yagna Kartriyai Namaha. Salutations to her who directs all sacrificial acts. Om Yajamana Swarupinye Namaha. Salutations to her who takes the form of the institutor of sacrifice. Om Dharma Dharaya Namaha. Salutations to her who is a support of Dharma. Om Dana Dhyakshaye Namaha. Salutations to her who controls all riches. Om Dana Dhanya Vivardhinye Namaha. Salutations to her who increases riches and harvests. Om Vipra Priyaye Namaha. Salutations to her who loves the learned. Om Vipra Rupaye Namaha. Salutations to her who is herself the learned. Om Vishwa Brahmana Karinyai Namaha. Salutations to her who causes the universe to revolve in cyclic motion. Om Vishwa Grasaye Namaha. Salutations to her who devours universe at the end of the cycle. Om Vidrum Bayaye Namaha. Salutations to her who is like coral in complexion. Om Vaishnavyai Namaha. Salutations to her who is Vaishnavi, the power of Vishnu. Om Vishnu Rupinyai Namaha. Salutations to her who is herself the form of Vishnu. Om Ayonyai Namaha. Salutations to her who has no source other than herself. Om Yoni Nilayai Namaha. Salutations to her who houses the power that generates everything. Om Kutastayai Namaha. Salutations to her who is the changeless. Om Kula Rupini Namaha. Salutations to her who is the deity of the Kaula sect. Om Veera Gosti Priyai Namaha. Salutations to her who is fond of the assembly of the devotees of the heroic mode of worship. Om Veeraya Namaha. Salutations to her who is herself the hero. Om Naishkarmyaya Namaha. Salutations to her who transcends work, karma. Om Shakti.